And then the Swiss Yarn Festival happened and I went a little nuts. This box is my knitted and stash. Like a baby jacket with the 3 balls, and that's gonna be super cute. And it's not gonna take as long as like a blanket because it's a small chicken. This should be long like this. So cute. I mean, look at it. It's incredible. Hi, my name is Maya and welcome to my YouTube channel where I share all my thoughts, process and other random stuff about all things fiber related, but mostly knitting. Today is the 2nd of July 2025 and I'm coming to you from the French-speaking part of Switzerland where I live with my gecko. Today's program is my favorite program ever. I'm gonna do my summer knitting plans and I absolutely love to do the planning knitting videos. I don't really know why. I think it kind of itches the scratch in my brain that wants to be organized and planning stuff and keep track of things. And at the same time, I do it in a way that lets me be kind of free of what I choose. I just really love to do this. And also, what I like to do during these videos is go through my precedent plans because I do 1 video per season, so 4 a year. So going through the plans of the past season is also super satisfying and scratches another itch in my brain, which is the one that wants to check if I manage to stick to my to-do list and just crossing off things. I love it. Anyway, so since today is the 2nd of July, my summer plans will go from July to end of September, so 3 months, July, August, September. And I will go through my spring plans, which I think I published the video, it was like the 1st of April, something like that. And that went from April to end of June. So April, May, June. And in bonus this year, I am also loosely trying to stash burst. I mean, just get my stash down a little bit. And I will also do a little update on that. How much yarn did I buy? How much did I knit? Like the total of yarn in, yarn out, stuff like that. I thought it could be very interesting to go through that. So, as I mentioned, my philosophy when I planned my upcoming knitting season, I mean knitting and crochet, is to plan more than I'm gonna do, because what I want to do is, what I want to have is the liberty to choose what I want to cast on, because yeah, I try to stick to small, like 3-month length of time, and I don't do like make 9 in a year or stuff like that, because today is today and I have no idea what I will want to knit in like 6 months or let alone a whole year from now. So I only do 3 months at a time, and even with such a short amount of time, I don't know what I'm gonna cast on in 2 months. I'm not absolutely sure. I have an idea, I have a rough idea because I plan stuff ahead because I like that, but you never know what's gonna happen. So I like to plan wide so that when comes the time to cast on, I can decide what I want to do. So those plans for today are definitely gonna be a bit too ambitious. I'm never gonna knit anything, but it's not my goal. What I want to do is to knit most of what I'm planning, but not everything. That being said, if you are looking for summer knitting inspiration in today's video, it's not happening. I am knitting kind of out of season because summer knitting is my favorite season. Absolutely, I love summer knitting. I love small gauges, I love small yarns, and I usually get so excited about summer knitting that I start pretty early in the year, especially this year. I started super early. So yeah, I've been knitting summer knits since like 6 months, and I'm kind of ready for fall and winter knits now, so I'm already transitioning, even though it's like the middle of a heat wave and it's very summery. By the way, what I'm wearing is a design of mine that's currently in testing. This is the Olympic dress, so it's a dress with a belt thing. It's very simple, very basic, but it has the increases are placed in a very thoughtful way so that you have a good fit in the end, and there are short rows and there is a few different options for the straps, and you also have a camisole version. Yeah, It's a very cool pattern. And it's coming out, I think, mid-July, something like that. In a few weeks, actually, I think. Yeah. So that's what I'm wearing. And yeah, I'm kind of done with summer knitting. I also design a lot. And when you design knitwear, you need to be kind of ahead of season. Otherwise, when you publish the pattern, the season is already finished, which is not very convenient for people who want to buy it. So it's another reason why I'm not really knitting summer garments anymore, because yeah, I need to do fall stuff now, which is good. It's exactly how I work anyway, so it works perfectly like that. And the third reason is that the stash busting part of my plans didn't go very well last season, mostly because as I was doing summer knits, I had very small gauges, very small needles, and you don't knit a lot of weight when doing that, and I track using weight and not like length or skeins or units. I use grams, and I didn't knit a lot of grams. I knit a lot, but not a lot of grams. So I want to make a dent in the grams of my stash this season, which means I need to transition to big needles, big gauges, big yarns, heavy stuff, if I want to do that. So yeah, 3 good reasons. These summer plans are not really summer knitting anymore, and I'm sorry if that's what you're looking for, but I do have summer patterns roundup that I published, I think, 2 weeks ago. So if you want inspiration for the summer, you can go and watch this one. But today we're talking plans, my personal plans, which are my personal needs right now. Before I start, a few housekeeping notes. I will mention the names of the designers and the names of the patterns and the names of the yarns, all of that, and I will also write them on the screen, and there will also be everything in the description box below, as well as the links if you want more information. I'm not going to say everything, and I'm not going to write everything because I don't think everything is interesting, but if you want more info, definitely go down below to check. And all the patterns I will mention are size inclusive. That being said, I'm not going to mention a lot of patterns because since I design most of the stuff I knit, yeah, it's my own stuff. So I don't really need a lot of patterns from other people anymore, but my own design are size inclusive, of course. This means I won't mention the size ranges because I don't know about you, but if I hear more than 2 or 3 numbers in a row, I just lose track and I don't understand anymore. And yeah, it kind of, I just don't like it, so I'm not going to do it. So if you want the size ranges, I will also put them in the description box below. Okay, now we can go into the mathy part of today, which is the stash busting update. So very quickly, my stash is, when I started the year, it was 10.5 kilos, so a bit more than 10 kilos. And in 2024, I knit 10 kilos, which means my stash is roughly 1 year's worth of knitting, which I think is a correct amount. However, I still would like to get it down because even if I knit a lot, 10 kilos of yarn, I have my stash here and it's a lot. It's more than 10 kilos now, but it's coming. Yeah, I just want to get it down. So my goal at the beginning of the year was to get it down to 7 kilos. And if we say I also need 10 kilos this year, it means I can only acquire 6.5 kilos of yarn. So if we cut this down into season, it means that per season I can buy between 1.5 and 2 kilos of yarn in, and I need to get 2.5 kilos of yarn out per season. So during the winter, so the first season of this year, I did 1.45 kilos in, so this is what I bought, and 2.35 kilos yarn out. So that's what I need. And did I destash something? I don't think so. So it's only stuff I need, which is perfect for me, totally on track. And in spring, it wasn't this good. I had 3.45 kilos of yarn in, and only 1.25 kilos of yarn out. Oops. However, I can explain. First, I had planned to buy 2 kilos. I had planned this because when I did the spring plans, I had a lot of sweaters and big stuff coming in, planned, that needed sweater quantities and stuff like that I didn't have, so I had to buy them. So I had already planned to buy more than the 1.5 kilos, 2 kilos maximum I could. So I had already planned the max. And then the Swiss Yarn Festival happened, and I went a little nuts. And I bought yarn. I only bought stuff that I'm planning to knit. I didn't buy things just because they were pretty and I just wanted them. I only bought stuff I had plans for already. But yeah, it's stuff that's gonna be knit like next year. So yeah, I did buy a little bit more than necessary, but I'm fine. I have zero regrets. And the second reason I got too much yarn in is because I received some yarn from lovely viewers. And again, zero regrets. I am super happy about what I got, and I already knit some of that up, by the way. And the rest is coming, everything's planned for this upcoming season. So again, we're good with that. Zero regrets. So that's why I had too much yarn in. Now, why did I only get 1.25 kilos of yarn out? Well, I mentioned it. It's because I was knitting a lot of summer stuff, so small needles, small gauges, small yarns, and it takes a lot of time to knit a garment with that. So I think if I convert the grams I knit into meters, I think I need the same length of yarn in winter versus spring. But since the yarn I was knitting was so lightweight in the spring, I think that's why the weight was half the amount of what I knit in the winter. So it's okay for me. I knit just as much as I wanted. I think in a way I still reach my goal. It's just that the numbers I track don't really reflect that. So what I would like to do for this summer season is to knit heavy stuff that's going to actually put a dent in my stash in regards of the weight, because that's what I track. So what weighs the most in my stash? Let me show you my stash. It's in mainly 3 boxes, so those are my works in progress. And I have, let me show you this one first. This box is my full skeins, so it's quite heavy. And as you can see, there is a lot of, hand-dyed hanks here, and then I have commercial stuff, and this is hand-spun. And then I have balls of yarn like this. And yeah, this is mainly my full skeins. It's a full box. And then I have the same box with leftovers. So this is everything that was in the previous box, and I knit with it. And I had some left, and it ended up in this box. So I have a few things in there, and then I have just bits and bobs in this one. Oh no! Wait. Yeah, just random leftovers in this one. And it's full as well, as you can see. And then that's not everything, because I just received yarn for an upcoming plan for the end of summer. So this didn't fit in the box, so I just left it in the parcel box. And then I have my fiber. All of this is gonna get spun during Tour de Fleece. I'm getting ahead of myself, but this is part of the plan. And I don't have a box for fiber, so I just left it in the meantime. And then the last box, it's big. It's big because that's what I'm going to talk about now. So this is a blanket work in progress. And then this box is my knitted and stash. And it's taking a lot of room, even though it's not heavier than the other 2 boxes. If anything, I think it's lighter, but it's unspun yarn and it takes a ton of space. Basically the whole screen. So this is the one I want to put a dent in. And yeah, I have lots of small colors like this, and then I have the big amounts at the bottom like this. And this is about 2.6 kilos, so it's a quarter of my stash in this box. And I would like to use it up because it's just sleeping there, not doing anything really, because I have accepted finally that Nutiden is too itchy next to skin for me. And I have quite a lot of sweaters, cardigans, jackets, stuff in Nutiden already, and I just don't need more because it's itchy. And I need to stop with that. But I have all of this left. I have like small bits like this that I received in those little sample parcels. If you know, you know. And yeah, I have lots of very random small amounts like this, small colors. And I have 2 sweater quantities. However, I cannot really destash the sweater quantities because in my old apartment, I had tons of moths and they were in the apartment, like in the walls. I just couldn't get rid of them. And they, of course, munched on my Nutiden. It wasn't too bad, but a few colors got attacked and some others didn't. I guess it depends on the amount of lanolin that was in the yarn. And of course, the sweater quantities were the ones that were the most heavily attacked, and I don't mind knitting with Nutiden that has been attacked by moth. Basically, when I knit with Nutiden anyway, I just hand wind balls with 2 strands together. So when I have a plate, the plates that are, I think they are all in the bottom, so I cannot really show you without destroying everything, unfortunately. But yeah, imagine a plate and then there is a few moth cocoons left here, and then there are of course a lot more inside, but you cannot see them because it's inside. I hand wind a ball, and then when I get to a spot that has been munched on, I just cut off the part that's a little bit dirty, and then I just I don't even need to spit, I just rub them together and they are good to go. So I just do this when I want my balls, and then the yarn is just good as new. So I don't mind having moth cocoons in my Nutiden, but I don't really feel comfortable destashing yarn that has been attacked, which means basically I need to knit it up all by myself. And as I mentioned, I don't want to do any more garments in this yarn, and I think I'm going to do a blanket. But I will talk about that in the plans. Now, that being said, if you really want, the 2 colors I have sweater quantities of is, no, it's not on this side. This here is Omge, it's the very deep navy blue, and I have like 500 grams, I think, something like that. And then I have Silhouette, which is the color changing gray, like gray gradient color. And I also have, I think, 500 grams of this one. So if you don't mind the moth, and if you really need that yarn, I can send it to you. But yeah, my plan is to knit it up. Anyway, so for the rest of the stash busting plans, basically I have bought too much yarn compared to where we are in the year, and I have knit not enough, so I need to knit more and buy less. Pretty usual. So my plan is to knit more by doing the blanket in Nutiden, and to buy less. That will be also easy because I bought everything I needed already, kind of. So basically I'm gonna buy 2 sweater quantities, and that's all. I don't need anything more. So that should compensate for what I bought extra during the spring. And my goal is to knit about 1.5 kilos, kind of my Nutiden stash. We will see how well I do with that, which should also compensate for what I didn't, for the weight I didn't knit during the spring. And I think we should be back on track at the end of the summer. We will see. I'm already excited to film the the fall knitting plans, because that's the moment where we get to know if I manage to stick to my plans or not. I'm curious to know in advance. Speaking about that, now is the time to go through my spring knitting plans and see how well I did, and which of the plans I managed to stick to, which ones I didn't, and if I need something that wasn't planned, which, spoiler alert, I did. Alright, so I separated the plans into 3 categories. So the first one is garments, the second one is accessories, and the third is blankets and random stuff. So for the first category, garments, so sweater, cardigans and tees. The first plan was, let me take this with you, it's my tablet. The first plan was the Olympic camisole, which is the camisole version of this one. It's done. I need to fix it because there is something that went wrong with the straps, but it's done. The second plan was, basically I had some yarn I wanted to knit up, it's this one. And my plan was to do a Metropolitan sweater, but into a T version, the one by Tori Yu, and I switched plans. I'm still gonna knit this, but I found something else that's gonna be much better for this particular yarn. So I didn't do it, but it's gonna happen. but more on that later. Then I wanted to do the Shine On You top, which is a design of mine, and I did it. I also planned the Nuit Blanche tee, another design of mine, and I also did it. They are both currently in testing. Then I had planned the Tia tee. It didn't happen because there were a few tops that I knit that weren't planned, and I couldn't do this one because it got replaced by something else that wasn't planned. Same for the next one, the tee number 1. I did something else at its place. Next we have the Moonset tee by Ozetta, and it's another one where I planned it because I had the yarn and I wanted to use the yarn. I really wanted to have the Moonset tee as well, but I had another idea that was much better suited for this particular yarn, and I did that one. And it's my current work in progress. I think it's in this bag. It's my Muscle tee. It's also a design of mine. It's not in testing yet. And it's just it's the Muscle tank. It's just a... Do you know Muscle tanks? I'm gonna put a picture so you can see. So that's the idea. I finished the whole top. The sleeves are gonna stay roll like this. I want them to roll in a little bit, and I joined in the round, and I'm just knitting on the body. It's almost done. Knitting on the body goes really fast for me. So I think I'm gonna I think by the time this video goes up, it's probably gonna be finished, to be honest. Hi, Maya from the future. It's a few hours later. I have to record again because the mic stopped working all of a sudden without any apparent reason. I didn't touch it and didn't do anything. It just stopped. So I have to record again, but I don't remember what I was saying, but at least I don't have to record until the end because at some point my battery ran out, and when I changed the battery, the mic started working again. So I'm gonna have to re-record a bit in the middle, and I will do my best to go until where it picked up again. And the battery is probably gonna run out in the meantime as well, but I haven't charged it. So anyway, let's go for some chaos. And I will try my best to say things the same way I did the first time around. So I was talking about my muscle tank. My original plan was to do the Moonset tee, but I found that this would be a better idea to use up the yarn. And the muscle tank was also part of the plan. So basically I just merged the two of them together, and it's almost done. So I consider it finished. I'm not gonna have this go into the summer plans as well because it's gonna get done. I think by the time the video goes live, this is gonna be finished. So finished. And then I have, where was I? Muscle tank, yes. My next plan was this bad boy, which is the Patagonia Peaks. It's also a design of mine. It's obviously still not finished yet. I only have the sleeves left to do and then the button placket. It's a very epic boucle colorwork sweater jacket thing. And yeah, it's almost done. So not finished yet, but we're getting there. And the next plan was the Sassy Classic Crop Top, yes, by Anne-Catherine. And this one didn't go done again because I need something else that wasn't planned, so it got pushed away. And I don't think I'm gonna transfer it to the summer plans because there are other stuff I'm more interested in, and it's extremely unlikely that I will have the time to do this one. Same for the TRT and the T number 1. All three of those are gonna come back next year, I think. The next one, though, the mixed rib cami, I will keep it there because I didn't do it, but I really, really want to make it. It's like among the 4 I just mentioned, it's the one I want to make the most, so I'm gonna keep only this one, and we will see if I have the time to do it or not. And the last one in the garment category is a pair of shorts. However, I don't think I'm gonna do this particular pattern anymore. Denim shorts, I'm gonna do something else probably, but I'll talk about that later because this one is also staying in the summer plans. Next category is the accessories. So the first one was a top-down triple brim stockinette hat, and this one got done. So cross, and then I wanted to do another hat for my boyfriend. This one didn't got done, so I'm keeping this one for the summer plans as well. Next, I wanted to do a pair of Vanilla Cat Heel socks, And I don't remember if this was the pair I wanted to knit for a friend of mine or if it was a pair I wanted to do for me. If it's the pair for a friend of mine, I did them. And if it's for me, I didn't. But I don't remember if the pair for my friend was for the winter plans or the spring plans. I'm gonna have to check. It's gonna be on the screen. And if it's the pair for me, they are probably not gonna get transferred to the summer plans because I have other small portable projects that I'm more likely to do than a pair of socks. The last one in the accessory category was the netty scarf. And this one, what I wanted to do is to use up the yarn. It's not that I really wanted the netty scarf, it's just that I wanted the yarn out of my stash. However, I had a better idea, or rather I got selected for a test knit. So this is the yarn, and the pattern I'm testing is the Gress T by Rebecca Clow, and I finished the back panel and I need to continue. But it's going pretty fast because it's lace, and I think it's a very good use of this yarn, and it will be better in my wardrobe than the scarf. So I switched plans for that one, but I'm glad I did. It wasn't the last one. The last one was a fingering weight shawl. I didn't really knew exactly which one. It was very likely to be the Vertices Unite by Stephen West, and I had prepared a little bag of the yarn I wanted to use for this one, but I have put it away already. And it didn't happen. It was kind of an emergency project because the only thing I needed to do is like buy the pattern and get the needles ready. Other than that, I already had the project bag and everything together. And again, I think I have other simple emergency projects that I will want to do more than this one. So I'm taking it out of the plans because it's very, very unlikely that I will get to this one in particular. But it's ready to go if I want to. Now, the last category, other stuff. I have the Arctic morning blanket, which is the big burrito I had behind me before. And I didn't touch it during the spring, and I probably won't touch it during the summer, but I still like to keep it around because if I suddenly find the motivation to work on it, it's there. And also, if it's there, I remember it's there, and I'm not gonna like forget because out of sight, out of mind, you know. And the last, I need to get it back. The last thing I had planned was to do lampshades, so I did make one, which is this absolutely gorgeous thing. I need this one is mohair. I needed to make 4 and I did only 1, obviously, and I am keeping this plan for the summer as well because I would like to do at least 1 more, if not 2, probably not 3, but 1 would be nice. And then I have some unplanned finished objects that I mentioned, so a few things that I knit even though I hadn't planned them. And what's annoying is that I decided to make them a few days after I published the spring plans video, which is very annoying because if I had thought it through a little bit better, I could have included them in the plans, but whatever, it doesn't matter. The first one is the camisole version of this one, but not exactly camisole, it's the bralette version. So it's a tight gauge and negative ease version of this with the crossing straps version. And then I also did the DK version of this pattern, which I never wear because I don't like DK gauges for summer garments. And it was my first time designing something with 2 gauges, and because every designer I follow that does this tend to knit a sample for every gauge they have available in the pattern, I thought I had to do the same, so I did it, and then I realized I don't like DK weight summer garments. I just don't wear them. I don't like the fabric, I don't like the way it fits, I don't like how heavy they are. It's just not for me. So I learned my lesson, and all the subsequent patterns I have designed that have 2 gauges, I only knit 1 sample of. And if you want to see the DK version, you can just watch the testers version because that's also what they are for. And then another unplanned finished object. This would have been difficult to plan because I knew I was going to start spinning yarn, but I didn't think it would be nice to count it as an actual knitting project or just project in itself. So I did finish my first handspun yarn, and now I'm deciding I'm counting that in the planned project for the season. And of course the battery is running out and the other one is not charged. Yay! And then something else that I didn't plan was that I wanted to fix a lot of my knits that I did in the past that I don't wear because they weren't perfect enough. And I did a video about that. And I chopped off a lot of stuff, like I have a sleeve hanging out there, and then I have the body of a sweater that's on its own. And I also wanted to redo the body of my mini mock neck tank, which I did completely. And unraveling the body, rewinding the yarn and re-knitting it, that was definitely a whole project on its own that took a lot of time, and I'm gonna count that as a finished object for the spring plans. All right. That's all for the spring plans. Now let's finally get into the summer plans, and we will start with my works in progress that I would like to finish first. So as I mentioned, the muscle tee we will count that as finished already. And then I have the test knit, the Gress tee tank test. This is gonna be pretty fast because, as I mentioned, it's lace, it's fast to knit, so it shouldn't take too much time. So I have this one, and then I would like to finish this. And again, since I only have the sleeves and the button placket left to do, it shouldn't take too much time either. Then I know I said earlier that if a pattern of mine has 2 gauges, I'm only gonna work the fingering weight gauge because that's the gauge I prefer. However, for the muscle tank, I am gonna do the DK weight version because I have this yarn that I mentioned that I wanted to do the Metropolitan sweater but into a tee with. And the reason I haven't cast on, even though it's been in my plans for probably a year, is because I wasn't 100% feeling the color with the pattern, with like a t-shirt. For some reason, I wasn't really vibing with it. Like, I love the yarn, I love the color, but the pairing with like a t-shirt or a camisole like this one, something wasn't working. And while I was working on this one, the muscle tank, that's when I realized this type of garment in this color is going to be awesome, because this is like a very cool gray, almost a little bit military, like this military green. And for some reason, I think with the very like masculine shape of the muscle tank, like not really masculine, but this is designed to really enhance the shapes of your muscles, hence the name muscle tank. And I think this color is going to be absolutely perfect for this design. And this is a very like flowy and drapey linen. And I think even if the gauge is DK, I have the swatch in mind, the one that I touched when I bought the yarn. It's going to be very cool and nice against the skin. So I think it's going to be fine. For a DK garment, this is going to work for me. So the muscle tank DK gauge is coming this summer. And the other pattern that I'm going to work the other gauge of is this one, because this is the Aran weight version. So it's a pretty chunky gauge on 5mm needles, and I would like also to make a DK version. They are going to be separate patterns, unlike for the muscle tank, because this is much more complicated. So at the end of the summer, I'm going to cast on the DK version of this one. I don't have the yarn yet, and I am going to receive it hopefully in a month. I don't know. It's a pre-order, and I don't know when it's going to come, because yeah, there is a deadline by which they're going to have sent all the yarn to everyone, but I just hope mine is going to come sooner than that. We'll have to see. Now, I think I am catch up with where the mic started to work again, so I will let you go back to present past Maya. Now, the yarn I showed you earlier that I just received, a ball just fell off the box, but yeah, it's a very lovely white yarn. This is Boucle Laine, it's the name of the brand, and the yarn is called Mont d'Arrêt, which is the location of the mill, I think, or just the person that have the brand. And it's a very lovely, very locally sourced and spun yarn. This is the natural color, and it's super, super squishy, super springy, super lovely. This is DK weight, and I'm gonna hold it with Holst Titicaca. And guys, the color match, it's perfect. This one might be a tiny bit lighter, but it's like complete I did it on purpose because I wanted the colors to match, but I didn't really think too heavily about it. I just wanted to try this yarn, and I wanted white, and perfect. This is soft. On the website they say this is the softest blend. It's very rustic, but I don't think it's itchy. It's the kind of yarn that's like very textured, but not prickly. And I have heard lots of praise about holding a strand of thin alpaca yarn with another rustic yarn, and I've been wanting to try it since forever, and I'm finally doing it, and I want a white sweater. So this is an upcoming design of mine. I have an idea in mind, and I'm very excited about this. Next is another design of mine, and this is the one I don't have the yarn for yet. It's gonna be a hoodie with a very distinctive design feature, but not in your face. But I think it's gonna be super cool, and I'm super excited to try it out. It's the way the hood is going to flow into the body that's gonna be special, and yeah, I'm super excited. But that's gonna come at the very end of the summer, when I'm done with everything else I talked about. And again, I don't have the yarn yet, and I don't even know what I want to use. I think I would like something kind of rustic, but also next to skin soft. I don't really know. That's gonna come later, but yeah. Did I say the one before was gonna be a sweater? It's not. I think I would like to do cardigan, because I mostly have sweater, and I don't really like wearing sweaters, so I'm not sure why I'm doing that. I mean, a sweater with a quarter zip is a little bit better, because then I can open it up and not overheat too much, but I'm not a fan of sweaters. It's cumbersome to put on, and if you're too hot, you cannot do anything. You just need, it's either on or off, whereas a cardigan or a jacket, you can open it up and you can regulate a little bit better. It's just so much more convenient, and I need to stop with the sweaters. So the white guy is gonna be a cardigan, and the hoodie is gonna be a cardigan as well. And it's gonna be great. Next up, I have leftovers of a jacket, a cable jacket that I need for my dad, and I have a lot of yarn left because it was a design and I didn't know how much yarn to buy, and I have 3 balls of this extra. So this is Cyrano by Denim Natura in the colorway Doré. It's Aran to bulky weight yarn. It's very, very soft, very chunky. It's a non-spot wash, it's very warm, but I only have 3 balls, like 300 grams, and what can I do with that? It's not even enough. I mean, I could do like a cowl or a small shawl, but for something this thick, I would want like a blanket shawl and not just 300 gram shawl. And it's too scratchy for my head, and even if I do a hat, it's gonna use only 1 ball and not the 3, so it's a very awkward quantity. However, I think I can do a baby knit, like a baby jacket with the 3 balls, and that's gonna be super cute. And my godson is 2 now, so I think I can knit one for 3 years old. I mean, he's pretty a chunky baby, so I think more like 4 years old. And I hope 3 balls are enough for that. And it's gonna be instant gratification if I ever need that, and it's ready for me to go there. Next, it's another leftover. It's also like it's kind of an emergency project for if I ever, for if I ever need it. I had already cast on. It was almost finished, but I realized I won't have enough yarn. So basically, it's like, do you know the Augustine's number 22, the bows? I like to do those with my leftovers yarns. And this is the leftover from the cami I did in fingering weight for this design. I had like, I don't know, 20 grams left, so I started one. The construction is completely different. If you have knit the bow, you know you don't knit it like this, but I just wanted to use up everything, and I'm not gonna have enough. I have used more than half of the yarn, and this should be long like this if I want to be able to do a bow, and if I'm more than halfway through the yarn, it's obviously not enough. So I'm gonna frog it, and this is 2 layers, it's a tube. And I'm gonna start again with only 1 layer, but I'm not sure if I do stockinette or garter. I will have to see. But yeah, it's a very easy portable thing, and if I ever am in a pinch and I need an easy knitting and I only have big, cumbersome, complicated stuff, this is ready for me to go. Next, it's the 2 plans that I had for the spring that I didn't get to do. So it's the Mixed Rib Cami by Florence Miller. The yarn I have planned for it, It's not exactly this one, but I have the skin here. So this is the colorway Frost by Woolberry Fiber Company. This is the merino, the superwash merino base, and the mixed rib cami I'm gonna do with the non-superwash, but it's the same color, except it's the non-superwash version of the yarn. So it's a tiny bit less saturated. It's a bit more lilac than blue, but other than that, it's the same color. So imagine this a bit more lilac and a bit more fluffy, and that's gonna be for the mixed rib cami. I really want to make it. This design is just so gorgeous. I really want it. And the last one is the shorts that I'm gonna do with this, which is Pernel by Natisea. I have done a top with this yarn and I wear it all the time. It's like perfect for summer. It knits up at like a sport weight to DK gauge, so you would think maybe it's a bit too thick, but it's so breathable. It's so cooling on the skin. It's even if I'm sweating buckets, it's very nice on the skin. And I think it's going to be perfect for a pair of shorts. And so my initial plan was to do the denim shorts by Alice Hammer, but they are not completely size inclusive. They are big sizes, but it doesn't really go far enough for my liking. And they are knit bottom up, and I'm pretty sure you can do them top down, but with this fold detail, I think it's a little bit difficult. And they don't have pockets, and it's just not really 100% with the pattern, which is also probably why I haven't cast it on, even though it's in my plans and I'm so excited about having a pair of knitted shorts. So I think I'm just gonna have to find something else, TBD, but this is going to be a pair of shorts. That's all for the garments. And then this time I'm gonna plan it. I'm gonna fix a lot of knits, and I'm gonna plan it so that it makes me want to make it a little bit more. Do you see what I mean? So I'm just fixing knits because I don't really know which one I'm gonna do, and I don't want to be too precise about it. I want to still have the liberty to choose what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna fix some stuff. I don't know what yet, but it's in my plans. All right, next category is the accessories. So the first one that I'm absolutely gonna cast on pretty soon is these handspun skeins. So I have about 100 grams of each, and they are both Corriedale. My initial plan was to make a hood, but I don't have enough yardage at all. However, I think I have enough for a pair of mittens. And I really wanted to do half-fisherman's rib mittens, but I couldn't find a pattern. Like, there are tons and tons of colorwork mittens. There are lots of ribbed mittens and even corrugated rib mittens, but half-fisherman's rib, for some reason, I couldn't find. So if you know a pattern, please tell me. But if I can't find anything, I'm just gonna do one myself. It shouldn't be too hard to do. So, half-fisherman's rib mitten, pattern TBD. And then for the hood, I wanted to do, this is what I'm gonna use those for. So I want to spin this as one ply of a 2-ply yarn. So this is a black yarn. It's Onyx by Wool and Twine Fiber Studio. It's 50% Gotland and 50% Svartpuls. And I have 200 grams of it. It's fiber, it's not yarn. It's just skin in a hanks form, but this is fiber. And then I have 200 grams of this braid of Rambouillet that's hand dyed by a lovely viewer of mine. Thank you, Nora, again. And I'm gonna have the second ply with this. It's gonna be awesome, I think. The black and the colors together are gonna be perfect. I'm super excited. So this is coming. I'm gonna spin them during Tour de Fleece, hopefully. And then I also have a little braid here, so if I have a little bit more time, I can spin this. I have raw lags under here that are doing a lovely fade. It's about 100 grams. And if I have some extra time or I want to spin something more, I can do those. I think the cardboard box was touching the mic, so I hope the sound wasn't too disgusting. I don't have a plan for this, but I will see once I have the yarn. Maybe I can do a second pair of mittens, who knows. So yes, that's a spinning plan and a knitting plan. So spinning the fiber to do the hood and then knit the hood. I also would like the hood to be in half-fisherman's rib. A few people sent me some very great ideas, but it's not exactly what I want. So I think I'm gonna just get inspired by the patterns that were suggested to do my own thing, because then also it's gonna match perfectly with the mittens, which is gonna be awesome. And then I already talked about that during the spring plans. I still would like to make the hat for my boyfriend. I mean, re-knit the hat for my boyfriend, the one that's a bit too small. I would like to make it a little bit bigger. I think I'm gonna do self-drafted because I would like the crown to be the same shape as the Manhattan hat by Tori Yu, with the distinctive like rectangular thing at the top. But this hat is knit bottom up, and I want to use all the yarn I have. So I think I'm gonna knit it top down. I don't know if you can do this construction top down, but I have an idea in mind on how you could. And I don't see why it wouldn't work, but yeah, I just need to try to see. Last category, the other random stuff. So as I mentioned, I'm gonna have the stash busting blankets in Nutiden. And I'm not gonna show you the box again, I think you got the idea. My plan is to do a corner to corner blanket in garter stitch. So I'm gonna cast on like 3 stitches from a corner, and then I'm gonna increase on each side on every 2 rows, I think. And my plan is to use the smallest amounts and then get to the biggest and biggest as the stripes are gonna get wider. So for example, this one, I don't know, it's like 15 grams, something. Let's say I start with this one, and since it's a small amount, but I have a few stitches, I'm gonna have like a stripe that's probably this deep, something like that. And then I'm gonna go to bigger and bigger amounts. So I'm gonna have more stitches, but since I have more yarn, the stripe should stay kind of the same width. Also, this is a color changing yarn, so yeah, it's gonna be a mess. I'm just gonna try to be like smart with the way I use the yarn and have the smaller quantities where I have the less amount of stitches, and the bigger quantities like an almost full plate where I have the most amount of stitches, so that roughly the stripes stay the same depth, kind of. I will have to see. And then I will also have to be smart with the colors and not have 2 similar colors next to each other. And then I will also have the color changing stuff. So it's gonna be interesting, but I don't want to think too much about it. I want this to be mindless, fun, and fun. My plan is to do a 30 minutes of knitting every morning. So usually when I wake up without an alarm at around 7 o'clock, something like that, and then I just stay in bed and I scroll on my phone and I hate it. And I just need a reason to get up early. And yeah, I just can't motivate myself when it's just like you need to get behind your computer and grade stuff. This is not enough for me to get out of bed. But I think having this stash busting blanket and the satisfaction of seeing this huge box get down day after day is gonna be good. So when I wake up at 7, I just get out of bed immediately, and then I knit for 30 minutes on this, and then I go eat my breakfast, and I can start the day at exactly the same time as before, except I will already have knit a little bit. And that's excellent. I'm so excited. I hope I can stick to it, because that's gonna be absolutely awesome. Like, I'm literally gonna gain time out of nowhere and just scroll a little bit less on my phone, and I can't wait. So that's the plan. We'll see how it goes. Now, aside from that, I would also like, as I mentioned, to do more lampshades. So this one is knit using mohair. It has, as you can see, this beautiful lace going on, and with the light bulb inside, it's gonna be amazing. But I don't have any more mohair because it's itchy, so I just don't have mohair. This one was just laying in stash because I bought it before I realized it was too itchy. However, this slightly fuzzy and translucent texture can probably be achieved with 1 strand of Nutinen on a big needle. I have never done that, but this is not, I mean, once it's hanging on the ceiling, you don't really touch it anymore, so it's not as if there is a lot of wear and tear on a lampshade, so I think it should be fine with 1 strand of Nutinen on a big needle. So I would like to try to make another one. I will probably do a lace pattern that's a little bit more easier than this one. I will have to see, maybe just a stockinette one, I don't know. But yeah, a lampshade using one strand of Nutinen. I will also have to choose a blend that's not too fragile because they are definitely not all equal. So we will see. I hope to do at least one, maybe two if I'm pushing it, but we'll see. It was super fast to do. The knitting was fast to do, but then attaching it to the frame took a little bit more time. So yeah, we will see how much time this takes, but I would like to make at least one. Next, I recently installed a wall of plants on my kitchen, in my kitchen, next to the window. It's beautiful. However, I placed the railings things a little bit too high, and the shelf that's at the very top is too close from the ceiling, and I don't have the room to put a plant there. So there is an empty shelf and it's bugging me. So I would like to make another one of these bad boys. This is the Jasmine Pumpkin by, I cannot say the name of this designer, I'm sorry. And it's a jasmine stitch and it's a pumpkin. And it's so cute. I mean, look at it. It's incredible. So, and it's very small. So I think I would like to make another one of these and put it at the top shelf. That's too small in my kitchen. And I have a yarn that would fit very well with my plants that are all like purpley green plants. And it's kind of this shade of purple. And I think this, oh, maybe not. It doesn't seem to be enough, but I have a color shift here. So the center is this color. Or is it? No, it's not, but close enough. I can use the center to finish the pumpkin with those two. Or something else. I'm pretty sure I have something that would be suitable at the bottom of the box, but I'm not gonna take everything out right now. So another pumpkin is coming, and this was also very fast to do, so because it's crochet and it uses up a lot of yarns. That's also great for the stash busting aspect. And then I have a plan for this background that's currently completely empty since I moved in, and I would really like to put something up. But I have an idea, but I keep on changing my mind, and until I'm completely set on something, I don't want to invest in what I'm going to put there. But it involves having like a piece of fabric, not a curtain, like a veil or maybe a shawl or something that's going to hang from a shelf that's going to be fixed to the wall. And I just want a very like airy and loosey piece of fabric with either lace or some kind of crochet open stitch or something, or whatever. I just would like a piece of lovely fabric hanging from the shelf back here. I don't know what exactly yet, but I would really like to make it. And again, I think I could do it in Nutiden, held single at a very big gauge, and that would be very lovely, hopefully. And then again, of course, I'm putting the Arctic morning blanket that I'm gonna finish one day. We will see. It's very low in the priority list, but it's here anyway because you never know. Maybe I will want to do it. The last plan, the very last thing is, I think it's a genius move. As you may know, I hate leftovers. And since I started hand spinning, leftovers of handspun are going to be the bane of my existence because it's going to be super precious. So I won't want to do very random stuff with it. But it's also going to be like a bulkier weight than the usual yarns I use. So I have leftovers non-spore wash yarns blanket planned, probably for this winter. But this is going to be too heavy. And what I'm going to be spinning next is also probably going to be too heavy. So I'm going to have leftovers. And I need a plan. I need something. And I found something and it's going to be awesome. Do you know the emotional support chicken? Yes, you do. Of course you do. I would like to do an emotional support chicken with all my handspun leftovers. Because it has stripes already. And there are tons of examples of people who have used leftovers to do one of these. And they look so cool. And I think it's going to be perfect. Because I can just start the chicken with those leftovers and then leave it there until I have more leftovers and then continue on so on and so on. And it's probably going to be finished in like a year from now. And then I'm going to have an awesome emotional support chicken that's going to be like a reminder of all my handspun projects. And it's not going to take as long as like a blanket because it's a small chicken and it's going to use up yarn, and I don't care about the gauge because it's a chicken. So if the gauge is all over the place, it doesn't matter. I think this is a genius idea. Anyway, that's all. That was all my plans. So again, a bit more than I'm going to be able to do, obviously. I think if I can make... I definitely went down a little bit in regards of the amount of stuff. But I think if I can go through 2/3, it's going to be great. I think 2/3 is a good plan. Maybe 3/4 if I push it. We'll have to see. If I stop spending so much time scrolling on my phone before I wake up in the morning, I'm probably going to be able to knit a bit more, but we'll see how well I do with that. So that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed these plans. I hope they inspired you. Probably not in regards of summer knitting, but for example, if you have leftovers of handspun yarn, maybe you could also do a handspun emotional support chicken with me, and that would be awesome. Or if you have a huge stash of knitted and you don't know what to do with it, how about you knit a garter stitch blanket with heavy yarns in the dead of summer with me? Yeah, so thank you so much for following until here. I hope you enjoyed this. If you want to see more of my knitting adventures and see how well I do with all of those, you can of course subscribe to the channel and also follow me on Instagram, where I'm gonna do a little bit more like day-to-day updates. I hope to do, maybe I can do like one picture every morning of the progress on the blanket and then do a highlight in my stories. That would be so cool. Follow me on Instagram. Thank you so much for your support, thank you for your comments, thank you for being here. I love you, happy knitting, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye!